Sonia from Itagar Public School. So today we are going to study Science-1 topic lenses. So today we are going to study Cartesian sign conventions and lens formula, magnification, power of lens, combination of lenses, and very important, we are going to study about the structure of human eye. Now before that, let us revise the topics which we have studied in our previous lecture. So we have studied about the lens. So up till now we know that what is lens? A lens is a transparent medium bound by two surfaces, right? And we have also seen the types of lenses. There are different types of lenses. Now among that type, basically we have focused on the convex lens and the concave lens, right? And we have also studied about the cross-section of convex and concave lens and the terms related with that lenses. So here in this diagram, you can see the various terms which are related with the lenses that are highlighted. Like you have center of curvature. For both the lenses, you can see over here. Okay. So that convex or concave lens, that is actually formed from the sphere. Like if you see the convex lens, it is formed by the intersection of the two spheres, that is S1 and S2, right? And the concave lens is formed between the space that is available between the two spheres. Got it? And the rest all terms like center of curvature, radius of curvature, that is R1 and R2, principal axis, optical center, and principal focus, and focal length. So these all terms we have related for both convex and concave lens. So what is the center of curvature? It is the center of spheres whose parts form the surfaces of the lens. Right. What is the radius of curvature? The radius like R1 and R2 of the sphere whose parts form surfaces of the lens are the radius of curvature. Then we have seen that principal axis is the imaginary line passing through both the center of curvature and optical center, that is O. It is the point inside a lens and on the principal axis. Okay. So here point inside a lens on the principal axis through which the light rays pass without changing their path. It is called as the optical center. Then principal focus. So we have seen that when light rays parallel to the principal axis are incident on the convex lens, they converge to the point on principal axis. So this point is called the principal focus of the lens. Got it? Then for the concave lens, it is seen that the rays traveling parallel to the principal axis of the concave lens diverge after refraction in such a way that they appear to be coming out of a point on the principal axis. Then what is focal length? That also we have seen is the distance between the optical center and principal focus of the lens, the focal length. So these all terms we have seen. Then we have studied the three rules, right, for both the convex and concave lens. So we have seen that in both the lenses, a ray of light passing through the optical center goes without any deviation. Then second one, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after refraction passes through the focus on the other side of the lens, that is for the convex lens. And for concave, a ray of light appears to diverge from the focus on the same side of the lens. Okay. Then the third rule we have seen, a ray of light passing through the focus after refraction goes parallel to the principal axis. Okay. That is same for both the lens. So these three rules are very important when you have to draw the ray diagram. Then based on this, we have seen the images formed by the convex lens. Okay. So this 6 image formation we have seen. Students, this image formation is very important. You should be able to draw this image formation diagrams. Okay, you need to follow the rules for drawing this image formation. Like when the object is kept at infinity, how will be the image? You need to know the nature of the image, its size, its position. Okay. Then suppose the object is placed beyond 2f, how will be the image? If it is kept at 2f, or if the object is placed between f and 2f, if the object is placed at f means at the focus, or if the object is placed beyond the f. Okay. Then image is formed by the concave lens. So these two ray diagrams you need to know for the concave lens. And as I told you, you should be able to write the nature of the image, like whether the image is virtual, whether it is erect, whether it is small, okay, whether it is on the same side or the other side of the lens. So these diagrams are very important. Now, today we are going to learn about the Cartesian sign convention. Now, see students, last year you have studied about the mirror. There also you have studied about the sign convention. Okay. So somewhat the sign conventions are similar that we are going to study here. Like in this Cartesian sign convention, first you need to understand the this diagram. Okay. So this diagram it is shown for both the convex and the concave mirror. Okay. So you can see the principal axis is shown. Then the lens is drawn, like convex lens is drawn, and the concave lens is drawn. Okay. Now, what we need to remember in this, in this case, the optical center O of the lens is taken as origin. Okay, pay attention. Optical center O of the lens, it is taken as the origin, and the principal axis of the lens is taken as x-axis of the coordinate system. Got it? See, once again I will repeat. Optical center, it is taken as the origin, and principal axis of the lens is taken as x-axis of the coordinate system. Okay, this is the first point you need to remember. Then, remember one thing, that the object is always placed on the left of the lens. Okay, object is always placed on the left of the lens, and all distances parallel to the principal axis are measured from the optical center. Got it? Now let us see. The distance is measured to the right of the O. Okay, here. Distances measured to the right of O are taken to be positive. Got it? While those measured to the left are taken to be negative. See, it is mentioned here in the diagram. Distances measured to the right. Okay, so here you have the right side and this is the left side. Okay, so the distances measured to the right of O are taken as positive, while those measured to the left side are taken as negative. Okay, now distances which are perpendicular to the principal axis. Here, distances perpendicular to the principal axis and above it. Okay, it is said above it, above the principal axis. They are taken to be positive. Okay, and the distances perpendicular to the principal axis and below it, that is below the principal axis, whatever the distances is measured, it is taken to be negative. Okay, that is for height, that is the negative. Okay, then right side of left side given as the negative distance. So this four conditions, okay, you need to remember. Right side of the optical center positive, left side of the optical center, that is the negative. Okay, upward height from the principal axis, that is positive. Downward height from the principal axis, that is the negative distance. Okay, so all these things you need to remember. But if you study this diagram properly, you will remember it very clear. And the focal length of a convex lens is positive, and that of a concave lens is negative. Okay, remember this thing. The focal length of a convex lens. We have seen the image formation of the concave lens and as well as the convex lens. So we have seen that in case of the convex lens, the image is formed on the right side, correct? So therefore, its focal length will be positive. And similarly, for the concave lens, the image is formed on the left hand side. So it is taken as the negative. Okay. Now after this, we have to study about the length formula. Okay. So what is the length formula? Now it is the formula which gives the relationship between the object distance. Now see here, object distance, it is denoted by small u. Okay. Then the image distance it is denoted by the small v. And focal length it is denoted by the small f. Got it? So the formula which gives the relationship between the object distance u, the image distance v, and the focal length f is called the lens formula. Okay. So the lens formula is same for any spherical lens and any distance of the object from the lens. Now, if you see this ray diagrams over here, you will understand. If you see this lens formula, that is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. Okay, see here, once again I am repeating the lens formula. 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. Got it? So if you observe here the ray diagram, you will see how this formula is prepared. Okay, both for the convex lens as well as the concave lens. So you know that small u, that is the object distance. Okay, so here the distance from the object till the optical center, that will be the u, and v is the image distance, right? Means the distance from optical center to the image, that will be the v, and focal length everyone knows. Okay, from the distance of optical center from the principal focus, that is the focal length. Okay, so that 1 upon f. Okay, 1 upon f, it is nothing but 1 upon v minus 1 upon u. Got it? And one thing you need to remember, that is lens formula is same for any spherical lens and any distance of the object from the lens. So this formula is very important, student. You will require this formula to solve the numericals. Okay, so from this formula, if either of the two terms are given, like if image distance and object distance is given, you can find the focal length. Okay, then if image distance and focal length is given, you can find the object distance. Got it? So you have to remember this formula. Then magnification of lens. Now, what is magnification of the lens? Now, magnification of the lens is nothing but it is the ratio of height of the image to height of the object. Okay. Now, H2 is the height of the image and H1 is the height of the object. So, what is magnification? It is nothing but the ratio of height of the image upon height of the object. That is H2 upon H1. Remember this thing. Magnification is equals to H2 upon H1. H2 is the height of the image and H1 is the height of the object. Got it? The magnification due to a lens is also related to the distance of the object and that of the image from the lens. Okay. So, in the next formula, we will see that how magnification is also related to the distance of the image and that of the object. So, here, magnification equal to distance of the image upon distance of the object. Okay. So, V is the distance of the image and U is the distance of the object. So, M is equals to V upon U. Got it? So, magnification, for magnification, we have the two formula, that is M is equals to H2 upon H1 and M is equals to V upon U. Therefore, we can also write it as M is equals to H2 upon H1 is equals to V upon U. Got it? So you can also see the this ray diagram. M is equals to height of the image upon height of the object. M is equals to distance of the image upon distance of the object. Got it? So you can learn this formula and you can solve the numericals with the help of this formula. Okay. Then after that we have power of the lens. Now, what is power of the lens? It is the capacity of a lens. Okay, listen carefully. The capacity of a lens to converge or diverge the incident rays is called its power. Okay, see here. The capacity of a lens to converge or diverge the incident rays is called its power. The power of lens depends on its focal length. Power of lens is the inverse of its focal length. Okay. Now, power of lens is inverse of the focal length means what? Means if the focal length increases, the power of lens will decrease. Okay. If the focal length decreases, power of lens will increase. They are in the inverse proportion. Okay. So, it is very simple. Power means that it is the capacity of lens, whether it is a concave lens or whether it is a convex lens, how much incident rays they are going to converge or they are going to diverge. Okay, depending upon that respective lens. So that capacity is called its power. So obviously it will depend on its focal length. Okay, and it is seen that the power of lens, it is the inverse of its focal length. Then if the focal length is expressed in meter, if the focal length is expressed in meter, the power of lens is expressed in diopter. Okay, remember this thing. Power of lens is expressed in diopter if you take the focal length in meter. Okay, and it is expressed with the letter capital D. Remember this thing. Capital D for diopter. Okay. Now, 1 diopter is equals to 1 upon meter. That only we have seen. If the focal length is taken in meter, then the power of lens is expressed in diopter. Now, next you have the combination of lenses. Now here you can see that if the two lenses are kept in contact with each other. Okay, see, if two lenses are kept in contact with each other, and if the focal length of one lens is f1 and focal length of another lens is f2. Okay, then the combination of these two lenses will have an effective focal length. Okay, so what will be that effective focal length of the combination? That is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Got it? So what is the effective focal length? 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. Got it? Then similarly, we can also find out the effective power of the lens. If the two lenses are kept in contact with each other, okay, and if P1 is the power of one lens and P2 is the power of another lens, then the effective power of their combination, effective power of their combination is P is equals to P1 plus P2. Okay, so when two lenses are kept touching each other, the power of the combined lens is the sum of their individual powers. Got it? So this is about the combination of the lenses. And write the effective focal length by the combination of the two lenses. That is 1 upon f is equals to 1 upon f1 plus 1 upon f2. And the effective power of lens, that is P is equals to P1 plus P2. Then after this, we have the topic that is the structure of human eye. So everyone, please concentrate on this diagram. Now, if we have to study this, let us first study the structure of eye, how it is visible from outside. Okay, so this is exactly how the eyes looks, isn't it? So first let us study this diagram. So you can see there eyelid, it is shown over there. Okay, the outer portion, that is the eyelid. Then inside the eye, that white part, that is the sclera. Okay, then that blue color part, that is the iris. Now you know that the iris can have the different color, and even we know that different people have the different color of the iris. Okay, some have the black color, blue color. Okay, so it depends. Then that outer portion of the iris, it is shown there, that is the limbus, and the black circular part inside the eye, that is the pupil. Got it? So see the labeling once again: eyelid, white part, that is the sclera, blue part, that is the iris, then limbus, and at the very center you have the pupil. Okay. Now let us concentrate on this diagram. Now what we can do, we can remember this diagram in two parts. Okay, first we will try to remember this part, and then afterwards this part you can remember. Okay, now let us study one by one. Now you can see there, you have the ciliary muscles. At the very top, you can see there, you have the ciliary muscles. Okay. Then you have the iris. Then at the very center, you have the pupil. Then crystalline lens, cornea. Then you have the sclerotic coat and the choroid. Okay. Here once again, ciliary muscles, iris, pupil, crystalline lens, cornea. Okay. Now let us see the another part of the eye. You have the muscles on the back side, means inside how the structure of eye is. Okay, inside. Then you have muscles. Then you have the optic nerve, optic disc, and the retina. Okay. So you should be familiar with these terms. Say muscles, optic nerve, optic disc, and retina. Got it? And on the front side, you have the ciliary muscles. Okay, iris, pupil, crystalline lens, cornea, sclerotic coat, choroid. Got it? Now, one by one, we are going to study about this part. Now, what is cornea? Now, cornea is a thin and transparent cover, or you can also call it as a membrane, on the human eye through which the light enters the eye. Okay, what is cornea? It is a thin and transparent cover on the human eye. Here, you can see the cornea over here. So it is the thin and the transparent layer, okay, or cover. Then maximum amount of incident light is refracted inside the eye at the outer surface of the cornea. So maximum refraction of light rays entering the eye occurs at the cornea. Remember this thing. What you will remember about the cornea? First thing, that it is the thin and transparent cover on the human eye. Okay. Through this cornea, only the light it enters our eye, and the maximum refraction of light it occurs at the cornea. Then let us study about the iris. Okay. Now iris, it is a dark fleshy screen. Okay. That is the muscular diaphragm. Okay. And where is it? It is behind the cornea in the human eye. Okay. Then, as I told you, its colors are different for different people. You can see here. That is the iris. Got it? So iris, it is a dark fleshy screen. Okay. And it is behind the cornea. Got it? And the color of iris is different for different people. So this is about the iris. Then next we have the pupil. Now the pupil is a small circular opening of changing diameter at the center of the iris in the human eye. Okay, you can see here. It is inside like a small hole. It is like a small hole of changing diameter. Okay, it is at the center of the iris, which is called as the pupil. Okay. Now what this pupil does? The pupil It controls the amount of light entering the eye. Got it? Pupil controls the amount of light entering the eye. Okay. If the light falling on the eye is too bright, the pupil will contract. And while if the light is dim, it widens. Got it? So you might have also observed this. Okay. When you go in the bright light, okay, the pupil will contract, and when you will go in the dim light, it will widen. Okay, this thing you might have experienced. Then, adaptation. It is the tendency of the pupil in the human eye to adjust the opening for light, depending on the intensity of the incident light. To control and regulate the amount of light entering the eye is called as the adaptation. Okay. So basically, what the pupil does, it regulates the amount of light entering the eye. Okay. Or you can say that it controls and regulates the amount of light entering the eyes. Then, after that, you have the eye lens. Okay. Now, just see where the eye lens is located. A transparent biconvex crystalline lens. Okay. See here, which type of lens is present? Biconvex crystalline lens. Okay. It is located just behind the pupil. See here, where it is located? It is located just behind the pupil in the human eye. Okay. Now the eye lens, it provides the small adjustment to the focal length. Okay. The eye lens provides small adjustment of focal length to form a real and inverted sharp image on the retina. First, let us see where is the eye lens. You can see the crystalline lens. It is labeled over there, and you can see where it is located. The crystalline lens, it is behind the pupil. Okay. And what is the role of the eye lens? It adjusts the focal length to form the real and the inverted image of an object on the retina. Now this retina, it is like the screen inside the eyes. Then shape and the size of the human eyeball. Now the human eyeball is approximately spherical in shape with a diameter of about 2.4 centimeters. Okay, so you can see here this is the eyeball. So what is its diameter? It is 2.4 centimeters. Now afterwards, we have retina. Okay. Now this retina is a light sensitive screen. Okay. What is retina? It is a light sensitive screen consisting of a delicate membrane with a large number of light sensitive cells. Due to these cells, we get information about the brightness or dimness of the object, as well as the color of the object. Okay, so let us first see where is the retina. So here, this part, okay, so this is the retina. So it acts like the screen, that is, image is formed on the retina. And this retina is having the light sensitive cells. Okay, so because of these cells, we are getting the information about the brightness or the dimness of the object, and very important, that is the color of the object. Okay. So when the light falls on the retina, the light sensitive cells of the retina are activated. Okay. Then they generate the electrical signals which are passed by the optic nerve to the brain. And the brain interprets the signals and processes the information such that we perceive the object as it is. Got it? So this is what is the process. Here, what happens? You know that this retina, it is made up of the light sensitive cell. Okay. So these cells get excited when the light will fall on it. Okay. And after that, they will generate the electrical signals. And these signals are conveyed to the brain. And who is carrying that signals? These signals are carried by the optic nerve. Okay, you can see the optic nerve over there. So these signals are conveyed to the brain through the optic nerve. And later on, the brain analyzes these signals. Okay. The brain will analyze that signal and convert them in such a way that we perceive the object as they actually are. Got it? So the interpretation takes place over there. Okay. Then afterwards, we have the ciliary muscles. Okay. Now, what is the role of the ciliary muscle? The muscles which hold the eye lens in its position and bring about changes in the shape of the eye lens and therefore of the focal length are known as the ciliary muscles. Okay. What is the role of the ciliary muscle? To hold the eye lens. Okay, remember this thing. It holds the eye lens and bring about the changes in the shape of the eye lens. And as the shape of the eye lens will change, obviously the focal length will change. Got it? So let us see the ciliary muscles. Here you can see the ciliary muscles. So it holds that eye lens. Got it? Okay. So once again, I will just repeat this term. So we have studied about the cornea. Okay, it is the thin transparent cover. Then iris, it is a dark fleshy screen. Then pupil, what the pupil, it is at the center of the iris. Okay, and it controls and regulates the amount of light entering the eye. Then eye lens, it is a transparent biconvex crystalline lens located just behind the pupil. Okay, and it provides the small adjustment of the focal length to form real and inverted sharp edges on the retina. Then retina. Retina, it acts like the screen on which the image is formed, and it is made up of the light sensitive cells, due to which we get the information about the brightness or the dimness of the object as well as the color of the object. And what is the role of the ciliary muscle? It holds the eye lens in a position and bring about changes in the shape of the eye lens. Got it? Okay. Then afterwards we have persistence of vision. Now, what is the persistence of vision? The image of an object remains imprinted on our retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed from the sight. So the sensation on the retina persists for a while. So this is called as the persistence of vision. Remember this thing. Okay. So the image of that object, it will remain on our retina for 1/16th of a second after the object is removed. Okay. So this sensation, it is called as the persistence of vision. Then power of accommodation of eye. It is the ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length. Remember this thing. The ability of the eye lens to adjust its focal length is called the power of accommodation of eye. Then the minimum distance of distinct vision and the near point. Now, the minimum distance from the normal eye at which an object is clearly visible without stress on the eye is called the minimum distance of distinct vision. It is 25 centimeter for the normal human eye. Okay. Actually, see, very simple. It is the distance at which we are able to see the object clearly. Now, suppose you are holding a book in your hand, and if you bring the book very close to your eyes, Will you be able to see that letters? No. You will see that letters appearing to be very blurred. Okay. Or if you keep the book very far from you, will you be able to read? No. But whenever you hold a book, here you try to keep the book at such a distance from where it is the words, the letters are clearly visible to you. So that distance is about 25 centimeters for the normal human eye. And that distance, it is the minimum distance of the distinct vision. And it is also called as the near point of the eye. Got it? So the position of the object at the minimum distance of distinct vision is called the near point of the eye. For a normal human eye, the near point is at 25 centimeters from the eye. Okay. Seeing the distant and the nearby object. Okay. Now, when the light comes from the distant object, you can see that when the light it comes from the distant object, the lens becomes flat. Okay. Whereas in the another diagram, when the light comes from the okay. Now, short examples, numericals, you have to study in this lesson. So as I told you, you need to remember this formula, 1 upon V minus 1 upon U is equals to 1 upon F. Okay, then also the magnification formula is there. Okay, so whenever you solve the numericals, what you have to do, once you read the numerical, you have to write all the given things. Okay, now let us try to see how it is solved here. An object is placed vertically at a distance of 20 centimeter from a convex lens. If the height of the object is 5 centimeter and the focal length of the lens is 10 centimeter, what will be the position, size, and nature of the image? How much bigger will the image be as compared to the object? So what you will do, you will write all the given things like height of the object h1 is given that is 5 centimeter, focal length f it is given that is a 10 centimeter, distance of the object it is a minus 20 centimeter, image distance we have to find, height of the image that is h2 we have to find, and magnification here we have to find. Okay, so whatever the things are given, based upon that you can use the formula. So here we will use the formula that is 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equals to 1 upon f. So you can see there the things are substituted like object distance and the focal length. Then by solving that, you get the image distance that is a 20 centimeter. Now the positive sign of the image distance shows that the image is formed at 20 centimeter on other side of the lens. Got it? So from this formula you got the image distance. Then magnification we have to find. Now for magnification you have the formula like h2 upon h1 which is also equal to v upon u. Okay. So you can rearrange this formula and you can find the h2 that is the height of the image. So h2 is equals to v upon u into h1 after rearranging this formula. So you have to just substitute this thing like you have image distance 20 upon minus 20 that is object distance into h1 that is 5. So after solving you get the h2 that is the minus 5. Okay. Now you got h2 as minus 5. Then magnification you can find. Magnification is equals to v upon u. So you have the value for v. You also have the value for u. So 20 upon minus 20 is equals to minus 1. Now it is here magnification you got minus 1. The negative sign of the height of the image and the magnification shows that the image is inverted and it is real. Got it? Means it is inverted image and it is the real image. So it is below the principal axis. Inverted means it is below principal axis and it is of the same size as the object. So in this way, you can solve the numerical. Very simple. Just first you have to write all the given things and what you have to find. And based on that, you use the formula. Okay. Like in the second numerical, you have the focal length f is equals to 20 centimeter, converted into meter. You will get 0.2 meter. Then power of lens is equals to p, you have to find. So you have p is equals to 1 upon f. So 1 upon 0.2, you get the 5d, that is the 5 diopters. So power of lens is 5 diopters. Okay. So in this way, you have to solve the numericals. Now exercise. You have to solve these questions. Okay. What is lens formula? What is power of lens? Write its unit. Draw and label the diagram of human eye. What is the function of retina of eye? So you can just take the screenshot of this homework. To solve it in your notebook, you can show to your science teacher. So students, today we have completed the topic that is the sign convention. And we have studied about the combination of lenses, lens formula, magnification of lens. And very important, we have studied about the structure of human eye. Okay, so today's topics we have completed here. I hope you have understood. So here, if you have any questions, students, you can ask, or we will wind up with the lecture. Ma'am? Yes, Rushali ma'am?
Hello, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
you wind up the class.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Students, be there on time. Tomorrow again we have class at 8 a.m. Okay, thank you everyone. We'll end up the session.
Okay, madam. Thank you.